The story of the movie begins in a very strange world, where scientists have managed to disable the mechanism that causes aging. In this world, the main currency is time. Money no longer exists. Instead, people trade and exchange using the time they have on their hands. When a person's time runs out, they die. Each individual has a different amount of time, but everyone's physical age stops at 25 years old. No matter how old they get, they always look young. Society is divided into classes, from the poorest to the richest. The poor usually only have about a year to live, while the wealthy can live forever if they have enough time. Most people work in their own districts to earn time as wages. If someone cannot work, they won't be able to extend their life beyond a year. Here we meet a man named Will. When he wakes up, he checks the time on his arm and sees he only has 1 hour left before he dies. He also remembers that today is his mother's birthday, so he goes to see her. His mother's name is Rachel, and though she is 50 years old, she looks just as young as Will, who is 28. Since no one ages past 25, they celebrate happily, but deep down, they are anxious because of their many debts, which they've been paying off with their time. Will has sacrificed most of his life paying off these debts, and now he has almost no time left. Before going to work, his mother gives him 30 extra minutes from her own life. As Will leaves the house, he sees a little girl begging people for just 1 minute to survive. She collects a minute from anyone willing, and Will gives her 5 minutes. Later, he sees a dead man on the street. His time had simply run out. Will works at a factory, but when he goes to collect his daily wages, he finds his pay has been cut because he was late. That night, he goes to a bar with his friend Burrell, where they meet a mysterious wealthy man named Henry Hamilton, who has over 100 years of time. Will notices that Henry is being watched by a gang planning to rob him. Will warns him and eventually saves him, escaping together to an abandoned building. Henry reveals to Will that he is 150 years old, but he has grown tired of life, watching countless people die every day. He explains that the world is divided into 12 time zones, where the rich exploit the poor. Henry admits he has more time than he needs, but he despises the unfair system and wants to end his life. By morning, Henry transfers all of his time to Will, keeping only 5 minutes for himself before committing suicide. Will decides to use this gift of time to escape to the wealthy district of New Greenwich. Before leaving, he gives his friend Burrell 10 years of time. Meanwhile, his mother Rachel is left with only an hour to live. She promises to meet Will at the bus station, but she doesn't have enough time to pay for the bus fare. She runs toward Will, who is waiting for her. But just as she reaches him, her time runs out and she dies in his arms. Determined, Will leaves his district for New Greenwich. At the same time, timekeeper Raymond Leon, a police officer, investigates Henry's death and discovers from surveillance footage that Will was there. He begins hunting him down. In New Greenwich, Will lives luxuriously in a hotel, eats expensive meals, and draws attention to himself. He meets a powerful businessman named Sylvia Weis and beats him at gambling, winning thousands of years. Will also meets Philippe's daughter Sylvia and is instantly drawn to her. At a party in Philippe's mansion, Raymond and his men arrive and arrest Will for Henry's death and theft of time. Will escapes, taking Sylvia as a hostage, but soon they become partners. They clash with Fortis, a gang leader who tries to rob them, but Will kills him and takes his time. Together, Will and Sylvia start robbing time banks, owned by Philippe, and redistribute the stolen time among the poor. The government issues a huge reward for their capture. Raymond continues chasing them but forgets to renew his own time and dies. In the end, Will and Sylvia manage to steal 1,000,000 years and distribute it to the people, breaking down the walls between time zones. Now everyone can move freely, and poverty begins to disappear.